Testing, testing. Okay, recording. Okay, ladies, I have to give you a huge giant apology because the Zoom and I were not agreeing this morning, and we did this great 1 hour amazing video that we had a lot of participation on, and then it didn't record. And so I have no idea what the heck happened there. I have gone back and rechecked 3 or 4 times, and now it is recording. Obviously, the next ones will be recorded, but again, I want to apologize because it was not recorded this morning. So I wanted to give you the Cliff's Notes version of this morning. So today is April 26th, and we were finishing up or talking about month 1 for the Planning for Peace Journal. So we talked a little bit, refreshed about the limiting beliefs we had that we were trying to get through from last month. We took a couple of comments about that. Then I talked a little bit about, where are we doing with confidence and how many people were struggling with maybe a part of the curriculum that they were worried about, or, just some other pieces of confidence. And so we worked through that a little bit. We talked a little bit about, we had some questions about saint stories and some people who were feeling, not that they did not want to cover saints, but that they were not feeling super confident in doing so many saints. And so I talked about a favorite resource of ours that we've used several years back called The Monkeys in the Mango Tree, which is it's a book of like Hindu saint stories. And the Hindu saint stories are more like fables in a lot of ways, but they're like wise stories. And so a lot of them have animals, so it brings in that animal element. But they are a great way to infuse some other cultures other than just sort of the traditional Catholic or Orthodox saints. So if you wanted to bring some of that in, another good idea would be to bring in some strong leaders that were like maybe kind of heroic, because it's traditionally called either the Saints and Fables year or the Saints and Heroes year or the Heroes and Fables year. All of those things sort of go in together. I'm careful about the heroes that I bring. I try not to bring any that we're going to cover later on. So like I wouldn't talk about Hercules. I wouldn't talk about Thor. I would stick to heroes maybe in folklore or in like in history, from your local history or your national history. So we did talk a little bit about, in America, we've got a lot of different folklore and folk tales. One of the ones, and this would not be a folk tale, it would be a historical tale, was I talked about, I saw this great Disney short on John Henry. And so I encouraged people that were interested in that one to look that one up on YouTube. And so it would be the John Henry Disney short would be your search terms. And it's a good little like lead into the John Henry story. So that we talked about that. We talked about utilizing like leaders of your church in that, in that year as great human beings. So I talked about how when we did the second grade the first time, we were Unitarian Universalists. So we did some of those early Universalist leaders that became sort of leaders in the Universalist Church. So we utilized some of them. And I also talked about, we're LDS, and we talked about how we view some of our church leaders, current church leaders in in our grade 2 curriculum. So you can look at the people that sort of inform your life and pick some of those to bring into that time, because if they mean something to you, then they're definitely like a heroic or a saintly person to you. So I would definitely bring in some of those. We also talked about getting big kids to do handwork, and so I pulled some of these resources that I have, especially boys. Sometimes it's harder to get boys to continue with knitting and crocheting as they get older, and so I pulled out some of these books. This one is called Knits for Nerds. It's 30 projects, science fiction, comic books, and fantasy related. And this one's kind of fun. We have not done anything out of these yet, but there's some fun ones in here. It's just a fun book, and I'm looking forward to utilizing this. But I pulled up this Star Wars crochet book. You can find these in kits, like at Michael's or at Costco. And Sam and I actually made the Yoda in here, and he turned out really cute. So these are fun ways to, like, you go, okay, let's make this stinking boring washcloth so then you know how to do the stitches so we can make, you know, Luke and Leia. Or it's just a fun way to get boys and girls. You know, I said boys, but I was meaning more like, because sometimes boys are a little more reluctant as they get older. Girls tend to be easier. They'll follow mom a little bit better sometimes. But, you know, I did also say all of my boys do handwork even still now. So Harry's 21 as of the recording of this, and he took a knitting project, a scarf knitting project on his mission with him, and sent it back after his first year. So, you know, finished. And so we've got that. And all of my boys, when they're here at home with me, they'll sit and talk to me while I knit and, you know, help me with yarn and things like that. So it becomes a very bonding place, a good place for you to bond with them. And so you try to bring in projects that are going to be more fun for them, for sure. So that's pretty much the Cliff's Notes condensed version of the meeting this morning. Again, I apologize. Hopefully we're not going to have a problem with that next time. I'm going to make like a big sticky note for the front of the computer that says check 4 times to make sure you're recording. I didn't have that problem when we did our video last night, so it's really odd that it was that way this morning. So again, I apologize. If you have questions, just let me know. What you're preparing for the next video is I want you to have all of that month 1 section done. And there's a lot there. It's pretty meaty. Don't skip anything. Do every piece. Even if you think you're good on menu, even if you think your rhythm's in a good place, don't skip anything. Even if you don't do all 5 days of the actual rhythm and you just can get in 2 or 3, do it anyways. I do it on a regular basis because I kind of want to see where I'm at. I want to see where there's holes, and I'm always trying to move things around so that I can make sure that I'm as efficient as I can be. And so, you know, don't skip anything. Definitely get busy with that. And if you have questions, please drop me a note. You're welcome to do that. And then for the next one, the other thing is make sure you order your curriculum. If you, you know, if you haven't ordered it yet, you know, or haven't made a decision yet, definitely get your curriculum ordered. And if you have already made your decision and you've got your curriculum in hand, we're going to be starting to work with that next month. So definitely get through all of the first part of Planning for Peace. And if you have questions, just shout. And expect an email from me next week. I'm trying to do an email on the off week that we're not doing videos. So I missed last week. Sorry, his birthday like took up the whole week. Sorry about that. But we'll be good to go here on in. So if you have any questions, let me know.